Good morning, mathematicians. We are looking at our Section B checkpoint, and we're starting off with a familiar question. You might remember this situation, very similar in the cool down that we have discussed throughout this particular section of work. So I see a diagram, and I am going to represent this diagram. I'm going to represent it with a division expression, and I'm also going to represent it with a multiplication expression, which we had some fun with in one of our cool downs. So let's start with thinking about it with a division expression. Remember, when we're thinking about it with division, we're first asking ourselves, what is the thing that is broken up into equal portions? Well, this right here is what is broken up into 4 portions, right? So what does that purple part represent in terms of the entire tape diagram? Well, this represents 1/3, doesn't it? So we know that our first number, our dividend, is the whole thing that's being divided up, and that first number is going to be 1/3. Now 1/3 is divided into how many parts? Well, it's divided into 1, 2, 3, 4. It's divided into 4 parts. So our answer for number 1A is 1/3 divided by 4. Now we're going to think about it with some multiplication. In B, we're thinking about how could we use this very same tape diagram, but how could I instead represent multiplication? What do I see repeated? That's what I'm thinking about in this question. What do I see repeated? Well, I see 1/4 here, right? I see this area that is highlighted in blue represents 1/4, and it is 1/4 of how much? Well, it is 1/4 of this particular section. Well, this section that I have outlined in blue, how does that section relate to this entire whole? It is 1/3 of the entire whole, right? So sometimes in multiplication we see something repeated, but other times like this, especially if it's a proper fraction times a proper fraction, we're asking ourselves, what is 1/4 of 1/3? That answer, or that word of definitely can help us to think about what is happening here. What is 1/4 of this third? That's what we see in number 1B, 1/4 times 1/3. Now let's go down to number 2. For number 2, we're going to find the value of each expression. We can draw a diagram if it is helpful, but man, we have seen so many patterns at this point, and particularly we know that if we have 1/3 and we want to break that 1/3 into 5 pieces, we know that we have been building fractions that are the denominator times this whole number 5, right? Because that 1/3 is going to be broken up so that it's 5 times smaller, which really means that we can take our 1/3 divided by 5, and we can multiply our 3 times 5 to create a new denominator of 15, and our numerator will stay a 1. So our answer to this question is right here, 1/15. Let's do the same thing here for number 2B. We have 1/6 being divided up into 4 pieces. Now, if 1/6 is being divided up into 4 pieces, we know that it's going to become 4 times smaller. And how we can do that is this, to multiply 6 times 4 together. That is 24. That's my new denominator, and my numerator stays the same. So my answer here is 1/24. Now let's do the same thing down below where we see 1/8, and that 1/8 is going to be broken up into 3 pieces. Well, this 8 is going to get broken up into 3 parts, so it's going to get 3 times smaller. 8 times 3 is 24, and our numerator stays the same. It's a 1. Those are our answers for number 2. Thinking about a proper fraction divided by a whole number. Now let's go ahead down and we're going to think about number 3. Number 3 is a situation with books. We're going to use some mathematical reasoning in order to arrive at our answer. There are 12 books on the top shelf of a bookshelf. That is 1/6 of the total number of books on the bookshelf. How many books are there on the bookshelf? Show or explain your reasoning. Well, let's think about this. If we have, I'm going to sketch it out really quickly. If I have a bookshelf, and if that bookshelf has how many shelves? Well, first of all, this 12 isn't representing the number of shelves, right? But if I look over here, this one says that is 1/6 of the total number of books. So this is going to have 6 shelves. So here, I now see 6 shelves form a bookshelf, right? The bottom shelf here, actually it's the top shelf. There are 12 books on the top shelf of a bookshelf. So this top shelf has how many books? It has 12 books. That is 1/6 of the total number of books on the bookshelf. So really, if I have 12 on the top shelf, I can also put 12 on the second to top, and the third, and the next, and the next, and the next. So really what I need to know here is what is 12 times 6? Well, we know that 12 times 6 is 72. There are 72 total books. Let's go ahead. I'm going to change to a blue color and let's write this down and relate it back to the prompt that we were asked. So I'm going to say that there are 72 books. Now, I multiplied 12 by 6 to get 72. And another thing that I can mention is that 12 is 1/6 of 72. So we can check it that way as well. Well, boys and girls, that finishes out this checkpoint.